Hi, it's Barb Adams again. I'd like to say a few words about this philosophy that's been adopted in our country in recent years of no physical punishment in schools. Why? I had 40 years in the childcare industry from 1958 until 1998. During the first 20 years, the parents would ask me whether I would spank their child for bad behaviour. If I said no, they would go somewhere else. During the next 20 years, if I said yes, they would go somewhere else. What a change took place in society as adults desperately search for a way to appease children instead of training them. Think about it. During my school years, 1936 to 1951, and beyond, when a pupil received a cane in school, it was most often for bullying or insolence. Both were well deserved, I might add. Lesser offences were lying, not doing homework, etc. Even one zealot of a teacher used to tell the boys on Thursday night spelling test was on Friday, and for every mistake, they would get one whack of the cane. My brothers always spent Thursday night brushing up on their spelling. They both became eloquent writers. The result of this development or philosophy brought self-control. No one liked to receive the cane, so the use of it modified their behaviour, the behaviour which caused the use of the cane. Quite simple, really. So over the years, these bullies, antisocials and rebels adjusted their behaviour. Moving on to adulthood, they had lived through many lessons in modification of offensive behaviour. I discussed this with my brothers when they were aged in their 80s. They concurred with my thinking. They'd reminisced that on the rare occasions when they were innocent parties or they thought that the punishment was unjust, they would think of all the things they'd got away with. Also, the girls liked them better. If they didn't cry, the girls thought they were heroes. We only ever, of course, got a tap on the calf of our leg when we girls misbehaved. It was important that the caning took place in front of the whole class, as that is the absolute deterrent. Most people think, I'm not going to have that happen to me. In a childcare centre of 60 children, there was only ever one or two that needed a spanking. I would always give 2 warnings and the third time act, most often for such an offence as throwing sand in the faces of smaller children, pushing them over, hitting them, snatching their toys, etc. I could go on and on. But it is so important that the training begins in the early years. By the time my children were 2 or 3 years of age, they were well behaved. By the way, we always tried the gentle approach first, keeping them aside when the other children went out to play, and letting them stand in the window and watch the other children playing with all the toys and equipment and having fun was a very good deterrent. Standing in the corner and so on worked with some children. We were not hell-bent on physical punishment. It was always a last resort. We did it out of duty. If they came to us at the age of 3 or beyond, it was much tougher. But it did not take long to train them up. I might ask people too, how much do you remember before your age, 2 or 3 years of age? I mean, whilst this training is taking place, you are so young, you don't even remember it, but it's so important. My children don't remember anything before they were 3. Soon there were no one left who lived through these times I'm telling you about. There will be no one left to tell idealists like yourselves of how things worked in past times. What a pity. I have noticed that the strongest advocates of banning corporal punishment are never people who have worked on the coalface. The only people who could give you answers are the teachers, social workers and childcare workers. But I have found that in today's climate, they will not speak frankly for fear of reprisals, lack of future employment and ridicule. I rest my case.